Hello, I am Radagast with Mystic View, and I'm here with two guests. And since I have my speaker view configured so you can see everybody, you can see who's here. And I'm joined by Mary Beth Lord and Lucy Lopez. And we're here to discuss something that's coming up on December 6th around the Philadelphia area. It's our first new paradigm gathering. And Lucy and Mary Beth are the hosts or hostesses. I like hosts. I like a gender neutral word. And we're here to talk a little bit about it, to try and generate at least knowledge of it and hopefully some excitement about it, because it's going to be very exciting. We've had other gatherings in the past in different places, but this is our first kind of official calling people from the wild out to join our family. So Mary Beth, if I could kind of turn to you for a second and give just a little bit of a layout of what we're doing here, and the calling, the gathering, a new paradigm gathering, the calling of the tribes, so to speak. Those with ears to hear, let them come. So, may I ask you to give us just a little bit of an overview?
Sure. Well, I'll give you a little specifics first. It's going to be Sunday, December 6th in Narberth, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Philadelphia. There will be more specifics that we will have online on Facebook pages and all of that. But, it's really just the time to get out there and, meet our family that we've already created in Global Mission of Peace that are able to get there, but more importantly, to bring in other souls that have, heard a little bit about this new paradigm shift, but aren't really so certain about it. But, they're the people that we really want to come in. We want to, just tell them about the wonderful things that are happening inside Global Mission of Peace, with our projects, with, volunteer opportunities and all of that. We are going to have speakers. Luckily, you, Radagast, you'll be there in person, which is great. We're going to have the ambassador join us via Skype, and he will be there to tell us any new happenings and to answer questions for people. We'll have a few guest speakers. We're going to have Kjell and Mia from Norway, who are managing our volunteer site and our project site. So they will be able there to, explain to people how to get involved with that. Really, it's just about networking and communing with each other and learning about the projects that are going to be coming along, because most people have an interest in doing something positive for our world. And this is just a way to, meet people who have unbelievable ideas and become part of it. Even if you don't want to pitch your own project and, manage your own project, you're going to be able to network with a lot of people that are doing amazing things to change our world. So, we just want to share the love and the positive messages that we all know that are happening right now.
Well, one of the things I like about it is the new paradigm has been kind of like a little bit of a meme they've been around for a few years now, but we're trying to make it real. And by real is people you can touch. And generally at these kind of gatherings that we've had amongst ourselves, a lot of hugging and a lot of relating. And one of the things that the internet has done is allowed us to find each other in the world. But one of the things that I don't see enough of is getting together for real. And that's what this new paradigm gathering is about. It's about gathering in the new paradigm thought in the flesh to find out who's near you, who you relate to, and really get to see people. I mean, a lot of people are on forums and they talk, but a lot of them are hidden behind avatars. You don't even know what their faces look like. So this is not only about real faces, this is about the real thing. And I can't emphasize how great it is to meet people you really like, that you might have known through the internet, and then actually hug that person. Hugging a person that you really have liked is kind of like a consummation of a friendship. And that's really what the new paradigm gathering is about, is consummating friendships. And so Lucy, do you have anything to put in?
connecting our hearts, because I believe that when I was awakening, I was listening to all this truth and all this thing, but at the same time, my heart was opening up, and I felt that I needed other people like me, like-minded, that would understand me. And when I started going to conferences, it was so amazing, where I could finally see people where they would feel the same way that I feel. And it's so nice to not feel awkward and hug people, like you said, Radigat.
Mm-hmm.
And in this gathering, this is our hope, that hearts will be much more connected. So this could spread throughout the whole world, because this is especially now, and we much need our hearts to get together to spread the love and keep the great vibration going, because global mission of peace, oh my God.
Well, I think
My soul family.
a big part of what
Indeed.
has held things back is that we can't do anything from our chairs on the internet. We have to get out of our chairs and go into the world. And so a lot of people, but what am I supposed to do? So we're kind of, I think we're trying to solve the first problem is, what are we going to do? How about we meet and we talk to each other and we find out where we're similar, find out maybe things we can do. And it's things of positivity, because part of the global mission of peace has always said it's not about taking down anything, it's about building up something. This is about, there's a lot of dysfunction around us, and we want to bring some functionality into the middle of all this dysfunction. And getting out of our chairs and going to a gathering is the first step in that process. Mary Beth?
Oh, I was just going to say, I agree totally with what you're saying. You're saying we need to empower people. You know, people are just used to sitting there and gathering information, like you're saying, from their seats. And a lot of the information that they gather is very negative and can be scary and put people in fear. But, you know, when you realize that you are a creator and that you can create the world that you want just by, you know, your thoughts and your intentions, that's what we've learned most through Global Mission of Peace Family, that we are creators and that every human being on this planet is. And so when you gather us together, the force that we can create will be amazing. And it's all energy, and it's all done through love and intention. And you know, we've seen this happen with our Global Mission of Peace Family, and we just want to replicate that around the world for people to get together and to empower each other, because there are amazingly wonderful things happening in this world. Unfortunately, we're just not privy to hear most of them because of our media the way it is right now. But I also believe that that's going to be changing. And so, you know, there's a time for everything. And there was a time for, you know, Lucy and me to decide to go to Hong Kong, and it was time for us to meet the ambassador and befriend him. It was time for us to meet this group. Now it's time for us to go out and meet everybody else and get them together, because really, you know, the people that come to a New Paradigm Gathering, they're the future leaders. They're the people that are going to go out and inspire their families, their friends, their coworkers. So, you know, it's just getting there. If the people will come, we will guarantee that they will feel loved. They'll feel lots of wonderful energy and acceptance. And together we will build the new paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main things that come up to me is when I met the ambassador and was hearing about him was empowerment. And it got stuck so deep in my being that I wanted so much to be empowered. But with that comes action. And I took action. And I feel so empowered, but still being with this family is like an ongoing thing. It's nonstop. And this is what we hope, to empower people to empower back to us, and just gather us up and do our mission. Great one, by the way.
Well, there were a few gatherings that were out, I guess, on the West Coast, and they were very successful, and they inspired us on the East Coast to do something. So Louisa, our media outreach and the host of the Goldfish Report, she put together a gathering at her house, And it was then that I felt, I tend to be a little bit of a hermit, but after I was with the 20 or so people that were there, and I got there on Friday night. So as soon as they started arriving on Saturday, I was there. And I was one of the last to leave. So I got to spend, 2 very full days with very wonderful people. And my heart was broken when I had to say goodbye to people. Now I'm kind of jolted out of my hermit mode. I've met my family. Now I want to spend time with them and I want to work with them. I want to do things with them. So I had my own personal experience of the power of gathering. And then both you and you, Lucy, not only were you at that gathering, you cut my hair at that gathering, and it was the right moon cycle. Trimmed my hair is the correct term. But then again, both you and Mary Beth were part of something Charlotte Anderson did, and you were a very strong part of that, which was the Yes Conference. And again, a concept that, a Yes Conference, one could almost, say, oh, gee, that sounds really kind of lightweight. But you were both there, and it was anything but lightweight. You know how powerful that gathering was on a concept of yes. So between having experienced a gathering and then also working with you two on knowing the power of gathering with the right people, now Global Mission of Peace, which has been having private family gatherings, has kind of decided to open its doors and invite people who have been on the outside looking in and say, how about you come in and, meet us, meet each other. Most importantly, meet each other. We are just kind of facilitating the meeting. It isn't so important to meet me. It's important to meet somebody you're going to connect with and feel empowered with and feel inspired with. And then, and also introduce them to the different ways. Again, we're having gatherings. And then, of course, I have, promoted very often on my Mod Wiz channel about, taking a business class and then pitching to the ambassador for a project. Now, that's for more entrepreneurial souls. That's a kind of a unique path for certain people. But then we also have our volunteers. And volunteer for a lot of people sounds like, oh, gee, working for nothing. That's not what the volunteers really is. The volunteers is really about people showing up to find out what's going on. It's a kind of a way to get in, and unlike the symposium, which we have a $50 monthly subscription for the 4 weeks, to join the volunteers, all you have to do is send Chell an email or even Mary Beth, so as long as one of us gets it, and you can come and find out what is going on. A lot of people with projects are part of the volunteers also. So there's a real way of cross-fertilizing. And for people just to kind of come in to the Global Mission of Peace and take a look around and find out what the buzz, if there is a buzz for them. And many people are finding not more than a buzz, they're finding almost like a little form of electricity. And it's getting very inspiring. And so this is really about opening the doors so that the global mission is truly a global mission. As we all know, we used to be True Vision of Peace, but as the ambassador said, we've turned the vision into a mission, and we're going global. And but of course, the whole thing is you work local, you work regionally, and that's what we're doing. We're kind of doing a local regional gathering. And not that somebody from California couldn't fly in, but we're not asking anybody to put themselves out like that. Because the other thing is the ability to work together means that you're in driving distance to each other. And if you're within reaching each other in a reasonable amount of time, then working together is something that you can entertain. And that's what's most important, is that we find ways to work together. Anybody want to come in here?
Well, I just want to say, yeah, Lucy and I did the Yes Conference, and that's what, was so amazing to us. That was down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the group of people that showed up there were absolutely phenomenal. We made such friends and met such inspirational people, and that group still meets. They do Sunday meetings, they do meditations together, and it's just a really loving group. So, when the ambassador had asked Lucy and me to get this together, we thought about it for a little bit, and then we said, yeah, it's time. Everything in its time. I mean, you got the symposium together, and then we got the gathering together, and then the volunteers, and now the projects are ready, and we're waiting for the funding for them. And so the people that are coming to the gatherings, like you're saying, if they're not entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter, because there's going to be so many projects that they can, get involved with. And that's what this is. It's just the next step. It's just the time. And, we really want to empower everybody to come to be ambassadors of peace, go out there and start their own little groups. And, eventually we'll make it to your town, because we are planning on traveling and, getting you groups together so that you can go out and do it on your own. And we're just really excited to meet all of you. Every one of you. We know that anybody hearing this is already ready for this. And all that we ask is you get your family and your friends and, talk to them. Even if they don't seem ready, bring them. It's so inspirational to be around these kinds of people. And the people that you'll meet there will just knock your socks off. They're great. So we hope to see a lot of you there. And if not this time, next time. And just in any way you can, just bring love and peace to your own families, and, do what you can to change the systems that we're living in now, and the systems that are starting to crumble, because the new paradigm is starting, which means a paradigm of peace and love and community and working together. And, like Radagast was saying, just free us. It's time to be free. It's time to just live the lives that we were born to live. And together we'll do this. And hopefully it'll be a lot of fun.
In your heart, I mean, I know that I was pulled by my heart to be, and I've traveled because my heart just told me I needed to be there, and I just did it and picked up. And if you just need to do that and come, please don't, just come. Because if your heart tells you to do something, it's the best thing you could do.
One of the things that I like about the volunteer meetings and the fact and some of the project people being involved is some of these projects are really large. We have some amazing people with projects, and they're going to need good, solid people who are part of the new paradigm. And this allows people who currently are not sure what the future looks like for them to possibly see a future. With one of the projects, and for the people who have projects to see the talent that shows up, and for people to find interaction and ways to work together, so that somebody who has funding can go to somebody who I'm not quite sure I'm cut out for that. But again, to be at the head of a project is quite a responsibility. But again, responsibility in many ways is really at what level you are. Somebody who's a manager has one responsibility, but somebody who has a placement within the structure has their own responsibilities. And how the culture of what we're doing is so differently. It's about self-empowerment. It's about people coming together with their strengths, and kind of there's almost a certain amount of self-assignment, as opposed to a manager going, you're going to do this and you're going to do this. It's kind of like almost people go, can I do that? And yeah, okay. It's really almost like raise your hand for what you like and hook up. And that is a very different way of putting things together.
It's funny that you say that, because me and Mary Beth always said we would be connectors. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's exactly what we've envisioned, that we want to connect all these hard, smart people together to bring this new paradigm into life. And we're making it. We're making it. I love to hear you say that.
So we're going to have some food.
And a lot of
Mary Beth, I'm sorry. You finish your thought. Finish your thought, Mary Beth.
No, I was just going to say, a lot of people, think that life is hard because that's what we've been taught, that you have to, wake up early, get the kids to school, get to your job, get home, do the dinner, take the kids wherever they need to go. You're just living this life, you're doing it, you're going through the motions, but it's exhausting. And we really believe that with this new paradigm that's being built right now and the new structures that are coming in, there will be time to relax. Living your passion, you can work your passion. It doesn't need to be a grind, and have time with your family, have time to be with your children so that they learn who you are and what your family's about and what your morals are about. So there's a lot that's being created here. It's not just about the banking system. It's not just about the military. It's not just about pharmaceutical. It's not about all of that. This is about not worrying so much about bringing those structures down, but putting the focus on building the world that we see, the world that we want. And it can be done with a large enough group of people that we're gathering now. All of that's possible, all of it. And so, really this is just about gathering souls and letting people know the possibilities. And once they're with us, they'll never leave, because it is a family. And this family is from around the world. This is from Europe and Australia. And I mean, it's everywhere. And so we've done so much just through our gatherings online and with people around the world. Can you imagine how powerful it'll be when you're working face to face and side by side with people that have the same passion and intention that you have? It's going to be fun and fast, and I know this is our future. So I'm so glad that you're all, we're going to meet you all at some point in time. And to get back to the food, yes, there will be plenty of food. We'll make sure that you're well fed, and there'll be music. Yeah, music by a special musician or two. And I just know it's going to be a very soulful, happy day.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to have some of that really great paella you make, Lucy?
Yes. Well, not me. My mom.
Okay, that was delicious.
I just told her she had to make it.
That was delicious.
I had to make my Spanish touch to the gathering. I'll dance too.
Okay. Yes, it will be. We are definitely planning on having some live music. We had live music at our New Jersey gathering, and I was one of those musicians. And Butch Robbins. Now, Butch Robbins is a name maybe a lot of people don't know, but if you happen to be into bluegrass music, and you know the name Bill Monroe, who was one of the giants of bluegrass music, Bill Monroe had two very long-term bands in his career. And in his second band, Butch Robbins was the banjo player. Butch Robbins is a very, and has traveled the world. I mean, he's met Dolly Parton because they were part of a show that she was in. I mean, he's a very unassuming man, Butch Robbins, but he's a world-class musician. He is part of Symposium. He has a project, and it's music-based, and he played at the New Jersey gathering at Louise's house. And I spoke to him last night, and I said, will you come? And he goes, so you're going to be there? I said, yes. He goes, I'm coming. So we're definitely going, and the last time we played, we just kind of discussed chords with each other and played. This time, I think we're going to put a little rehearsal in, so it'll be a little more polished. But we won't hog the stage. We'll just get music. What's that, Lucy?
I was there, and it was great without that. The practice. I can't imagine how it's going to be now.
And if Wayne would show up again, that would be great. But he's a busy man. But we'll see about trying to get him there. He was the keyboard player and singer, and boy, did that make a big difference. So anyway, so this is December 6th on a Sunday, and we're going to have the ability. It's $50 for the gathering, correct, Mary Beth?
Okay.
All right.
Correct, $50.
And we're going to have that, so you can register for it at the CBC Global Education website. Of course, if you can't remember that, you can go to the Global Mission of Peace website, and there's a tag there for the CBC Global Education. That's kind of like our portal for all the kind of little businesses we do. And so that's where you would go, and that's where you would register. It's probably important to know that when this all got started, I still use my PayPal account, which is Essences of Health and Beauty. I did make lotions and potions for a long period of time in my life. And so I had set up a PayPal account to do it. And it was still laying around when we began this. So at some point we'll change it over to something more official. But just so you know, if you get a receipt that says Essences of Health and Beauty, that's me. And so do not be alarmed. And anybody, once people are registered, they will get a reply email from me letting you know you're registered, and everything's a go. And of course, if you have any questions, you can send them to me. And if depending on what the question is, I will answer it, or I might send it to Mary Beth. And so I think that probably that wraps up the official part of when it is, how you get there, how you sign up. Anything either one of you would like to add before we end the show?
No, just that I'm very, very excited to meet everybody. And, anybody who can get here, please try. We will make you feel loved and part of everything. So thank you for this time, Radagast.
My pleasure.
Yes, and I would like to say it's time for us to be heard, and I love hearing people's story. So I can't wait to hear people's stories.
Well, maybe I should make a little mention of that. Was part of a little bit of a format of where we open the floor and ask anybody who would like to speak about where they're coming from or what their passion is. I mean, not everybody likes to speak, but some people do. And how very often when you hear somebody tell their story, how much that connects you with them. Like somebody who you might have seen, whatever, you might not have felt a strong connection. And once people speak, it's like, I have to go speak to that person. So there is by people opening up, connections can get made that are not obvious. And so I know this is going to be a very powerful event, a wonderful gathering. And I also look forward to being a part of it and meeting new people.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us on Mystic View. And you can find this at the ModWiz125 YouTube channel, but it's also going to be on globalmissionofpeace.com. So look for us on either place if you want to see. Actually, you have to look for either place, or you wouldn't be seeing or hearing me, or Mary, Beth, or Lucy. So I'd like to thank you for your time. God bless you all, and see you next time.
Love you all.